World Water Day. A day to renew our commitment to use water sustainably and protect water resources. First celebrated in 1993 after a UN General Assembly resolution, World Water Day is an annual celebration to celebrate the impact of water on the environment. In 2022, the theme of World Water Day is groundwater, making the invisible visible. World Water Day 2022. Groundwater, making the invisible visible. Groundwater is invisible, but its impact is visible everywhere. Out of sight, under our feet, groundwater is a hidden treasure that enriches our lives. Almost all of the liquid fresh water in the world is groundwater. As climate change gets worse, groundwater will become more and more critical. We need to work together to sustainably manage this precious resource. Groundwater may be out of sight, but it must not be out of mind. What is World Water Day? World Water Day is an annual United Nations Observance focusing on the importance of fresh water, coordinated by UN Water and led by one or more UN Water members and partners with a related mandate. What is the aim of World Water Day? World Water Day celebrates water and raises awareness of the 2.2 billion people living without access to safe water. It is about taking action to tackle the global water crisis. A core focus of World Water Day is to support the achievement of Sustainable Development Goal number 6, water and sanitation for all by 2030. Water means different things to different people. This conversation is about what water means to you. How is water important to your home and family life, your livelihood, your cultural practices, your well-being, your local environment? In households, schools, and workplaces, water can mean health, hygiene, dignity, and productivity. In cultural, religious, and spiritual places, water can mean a connection with creation, community, and oneself. In natural spaces, water can mean peace, harmony, and preservation. Today, water is under extreme threat from a growing population, increasing demands of agriculture and industry, and the worsening impacts of climate change. What is groundwater? Groundwater is water found underground in aquifers, which are geological formations of rocks, sands, and gravels that hold substantial quantities of water. Groundwater feeds springs, rivers, lakes, and wetlands, and seeps into oceans. Groundwater is recharged mainly from rain and snowfall infiltrating the ground. Groundwater can be extracted to the surface by pumps and wells. Why is groundwater important? Almost all the liquid fresh water in the world is groundwater. Life would not be possible without groundwater. Most arid areas of the world depend entirely on groundwater. Groundwater supplies a large proportion of the water that we use for drinking, sanitation, food production, and industrial processes. Groundwater is also critically important to the healthy functioning of ecosystems, such as wetlands and rivers. Overexploitation of groundwater can lead to land instability and subsidence, and in coastal regions, to seawater intrusion under the land. Why should we care about groundwater? Groundwater is being overused in many areas, where more water is abstracted from aquifers than is recharged by rain and snow. Continuous overuse leads eventually to depletion of the resource. Groundwater is polluted in many areas, and remediation is often a long and difficult process. This increases the costs of processing groundwater and sometimes even prevents its use. In other places, we do not know how much groundwater lies beneath our feet, which means we could be failing to harness a potentially vital water resource. Exploring, protecting, and sustainably using groundwater will be central to surviving and adapting to climate change and meeting the needs of a growing population. What can we do about groundwater? Groundwater has always been critically important, but not fully recognized. We must protect groundwater from pollution and use it sustainably, balancing the needs of people and the planet. Groundwater's vital role in water and sanitation systems, agriculture, industry, ecosystems, and climate change adaptation must be reflected in sustainable development policy making. Under the SDG 6 Global Acceleration Framework, particularly in the areas of innovation, governance, data, and information, we need to see urgent action in relation to groundwater. The invisible ingredient in food. Population growth, rapid urbanization, and economic development are just some of the factors driving increased demand for water, energy, and food. Agriculture is the largest consumer of the world's freshwater resources. About 40% of all the water used for irrigation comes from aquifers. Especially in water-scarce countries, the provision of cheap energy for pumping groundwater for irrigated agriculture can lead to groundwater depletion and declining water quality, with potentially severe consequences for those who now depend on groundwater irrigation. Furthermore, the use of fertilizers and pesticides in agriculture is a serious threat to groundwater quality. Groundwater quality and pollution. The potential threats to the quality of groundwater are natural or geogenic contamination and contaminant sources from land use and other human activities, known as anthropogenic contamination. Two of the most widely spread geogenic contaminants are arsenic and fluoride. Naturally occurring arsenic pollution in groundwater affects millions of people on all continents. Therefore, groundwater quality needs to be assessed and monitored regularly. Anthropogenic contamination includes the effects of agricultural intensification, urbanization, population growth, and climate change. There are limitations to groundwater use, such as groundwater quality and high costs of abstraction from deep aquifers. Furthermore, Groundwater is not always available in sufficient quantities in the places where there is the highest human demand for water. Let's look at what are the key messages of the World Water Day 2022 campaign. Groundwater is invisible, but its impact is visible everywhere. Almost all of the liquid fresh water in the world is groundwater, supporting drinking water supplies, sanitation systems, farming, industry, and ecosystems. What we do on the surface matters underground. We must only put harmless, biodegradable products on the soil and use water as efficiently as possible. Groundwater crosses borders. We must work together to manage transboundary groundwater resources. We cannot manage what we do not measure. Groundwater must be thoroughly explored, analyzed, and monitored. Groundwater will play a critical role in adapting to climate change. We must protect and explore groundwater, balancing the needs of people and the planet. Get the message out. Remember, you are the most important element of the World Water Day 2022 campaign. Join millions of other people and share key messages with your friends, family, and colleagues. Use the assets from the below website to start conversations and raise awareness of these crucial issues. Remember, the website is www.worldwaterday.org. This video was brought to you by Agile Rank Mate. ARM is a YouTube channel dedicated to providing carefully curated content to be your partner in education. ARM is constantly striving to bring out the best educational content there is. ARM, your partner in education.